welcome to a new season, brand new year for Muscling. I'm your host at Jack Wyldes on Farcaster, now Farcaster, guys. I'm here with The Dish and
Squad
Moon Poppy. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on?
Thanks for having us.
This is the new crew, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited to get to talk all things Clank. I've missed it. It's been a little bit. We haven't had an episode in a while, and I think it's on the precipice of something great. It seems like this week the timelines have been on fire. It seems like Clanker is popping off right now, boys, and I'm feeling hype. I'm feeling good, and we're heading into something really beautiful. And I think Moon, I think you started this, but Clanker Summer, what is it?
It's a movement. It's a period in time. It's a general vibe. I think it started with merch for FarCon, and we kind of had like a set of merch that we were going to go for. And then one day I was just kind of spitballing and dropped these visors in the chat, and our protocol engineer, she was like, I want one. And that was that. 25 visors were made. Some of them distributed, some of them not. And I think it was just kind of from there, getting ready for summer. You know, you need your visor, you need your summer essentials, your rubber ducky. So yeah, that's all I can say on Clanker Summer. I think gonna have to stay tuned.
Clanker Summer, I feel like it's like a new wave, right? Like, you know, nothing beats hitting the beach for the first day of the year, you know, at least like for us winter goers. I don't know about Moon in Miami here, but we look forward to those 3 months of just golden beauty. And that's what I think Clanker Summer is about, where, you know, if the cycles come, but you can always look forward to that next beach day. And what Clanker brings is just, we bring the party to the beach. You know, it's been pretty dry. I think like the market's been, you know, having its ups and downs, but, you know, we're hoping to bring the surfboards, the coolers, the koozies, and the box, the boom box.
It is hot outside though. Just remember to stay hydrated and wear sunscreen.
Thanks for the PSA. Appreciate that. All right. So besides looking like Malibu's Most Wanted in the visors, they're really functional and great. I don't know. Is that reference? I'm starting to realize now how old I am, that the references I'm making are like completely flying. Like that Malibu's Most Wanted actually flies over probably most people's head on the timeline. I don't know how. It should be classic.
I don't care if it does. Yeah. If that's wrong, then I don't want to be right.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what
exactly. Yeah, no, I think like it's just timeless classics like that stick around.
Just
and
fun.
The young kids, they don't know about it, you know, and they should.
They should. I agree. They should. Dude, I will say this, Jack, you look like the most high school coach of all time rocking a visor, and it's awesome.
Catch the ball.
Yeah, you look like you were on special teams yelling at me because I missed my block or something on the way down.
You know, I appreciate that. I think that, you know, having that sort of kind of like that whistle and be like, hey, like, you know, this is how you can be better and push people to be the best is like, I think that's sick. And like, I don't know, I grew up playing lacrosse and I had good coaches, and I think like that goes outside of just sports, but it's like, you know, you always get that like last, whatever, you know, burpee or, you know, sprint that you got to hit. And if someone's got to be doing it, someone's got to be pushing you to the next level. And I think it's like, that's what we're trying to do. We're all kind of like our coaches here, trying to just push us to the max capacity.
Before we get into some projects, before we talk some more, obviously, we're just going to be goofing and gaffing, guys. This is a riff fest. This is Merry Riffmas. We're just going to have some fun. But give us a little bit of update on what you guys have been working on in the last,
Yeah, we're busy right now. We've got V4 in the audits right now. They're basically just being combed through, checking for any lice or bugs like that. But I've got full confidence in Lily's code here. So yeah, V4 is kind of our main thing. We've been working with Opsys on the UI redesign, basically just giving that a whole cosmetic lift there. And the SDK, shout out Moon, really paving the way here. Started the SDK. We're kind of just like picking up where we left off, like pre Farcon, and just trying to like double down on the tech. So like V4 is going to unlock some pretty sick things. A couple new features are coming are airdrops. We've got we're bringing back pre-sales and some dynamic fee mechanics too. And that'll be, I think, one of the bigger unlocks with V4 hooks there. In addition to this new type of hook that we're allowing programmers to tap into on the contract level, we're calling them Clanker extensions. So it's basically like you can bring your own hook if you want to do a buyback and burn, things like that. You'll be able to plug that right into the deployment method there.
Oh, wow.
And really just like having like devs be able to build whatever they want with these clankers here. So yeah, we're pumped on the tech side. Like we're grinding day in and day out. Carter's been hitting it like absolutely just running it up with the scaling, pushing out like new features, optimizations. Because we really hit a point where like we got to scale this shit. And like at the first
Yeah.
point, it was like literally like just me. Shout out Young Weekend, he was helping us out too.
Shout
Um,
out.
but yeah, like we got a team full of hungry wolves here, and like I think that everyone's just absolutely killing it, and it doesn't even feel like work. Like it's truly just like I would be doing this shit like even if it wasn't work. So I think that's the best part about this all. We've got a lot of cool projects reaching out, trying to tokenize and really just like mess around, see what's going to work. So yeah, things are going well. I think it's going to be a really busy next few weeks, pushing V4 out. And yeah, I think that's kind of where we're at right now. Just kind of taking it week by week and trying to just break some stuff, make some cool things happen.
There- We should talk about this for a second. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, like Clanker as a concept. I think originally, even when we met up in Boston, Clanker, I really went through that. Like Clank, everything is a Clanker. Anything can be a Clanker, and I still believe that. I still believe that Clanker, like you could clank it, just clank it, anything.
Everything
But
is Clanker.
yeah, everything
Yeah.
is Clanker. But I'm starting to see this new. It's not even like a new thing, but I feel like Clanker has now become the place to launch your project more than just memes. Like there's still memes, there's still fun goofs, but it's really becoming like a project launch pad more than anything. And I feel like that's separating you from, I don't know, I'd say even like the Zora stuff where it's like, it's all content, everything's a coin, everything is this. I feel it's like, well, yeah, but you wouldn't launch like, I don't know, Noise wouldn't have come from Azora. I don't, you know what I mean? What do you guys feel about that? Is that the direction you think it's heading, or do you want both, or
It's
what's your goal?
it's interesting. I mean, so at least regarding the Zora thing, I think that um, like Jack's spoken to Jacob and stuff like that, and I think that there's just mutual kind of respect for
Oh, for sure.
like Jacob even mentioned, he's like, yeah, like if I had a project come to me, I'd probably tell him to do Clanker and stuff like that. So that's, I get that. I want to say Noise is incorporating Zora in some capacity. It's on their roadmap or something like that. But in general, I think what we're seeing is more. I think cycles come and go. You have like on Twitter, everyone's kind of going crazy over like Pasternak mode, like the Believe app or whatever, and that kind of started this new project coins like meta, right? And it turns out that there's already like a lot of existing awesome used products by folks on Farcaster that have been launched through Clanker. So Yeah, I think that right now I think what we're seeing is that Clanker is just an awesome place to launch whatever you want,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So this week the flavor of the month or whatever is project coins, but that's not stopping the next fart coin deployer or something like that from coming on and seeing meaningful rewards from that as well. So we kind of want this to be the easiest way to, you don't have to think about the launch part, right? We'll kind of take care of some of that for you on the back end. You kind of will have a conversation with you, kind of throughout the like incubation like process or whatever. So that's definitely something that's been interesting lately.
You know what I think it is? I think people are getting sick and tired of just holding these tokens and not being able to do anything with it.
Yeah.
And like I think the OG example is Bracky, right? Like you got the Bracky now, but what do you want to do with it next? Oh, you can go bet on your favorite sports team. You can go, rather than like speculating on the chart, you can, try and flip it or double it for, your conviction in a team. And I think that's like a really good use case of that. Same with noise, right? Like now you can go tip your homies in the feed. And it's not like you have to type out like DGen, I think fully started the tipping, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now you don't have to type out, X amount of DGen. You can just pragmatically do it now in the feed. So yeah, I think like Clankermon too, right? Perfect example. You can incubate your mons, you can revive them. And like giving people something to do with these is just like a feedback loop right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really kind of what it's all started about. The whole Pasternak thing, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not up here to throw shade, but like you can't even claim your fees. It's all, so, but
Shade thrown.
we'll see.
We respect. Here at Clanker, we respect the pump. We respect the pump.
Respect the pump. Yeah,
we respect the pump because them growing is good for the rising tide lifts all boats, right? So
true.
I've heard that. I've heard that once or twice. Florida man. What happened? We got shut down. Moon Poppy's gone. Jackie boy, Jackie. How are you doing, man?
Doing good. Just busy, man. That's just the name of the game. But you know what? It doesn't even feel like it's like a lot of work. It just feels like it's like I want to do it. I want to talk to these people. I want to talk to these projects coming in. I want to advise them and give them the right playbook to help them succeed. Just from like things that we've seen in the past. And so that's to me kind of like that like extra gas in the tank, and kind of just gets me up in the morning and keeps me going at night.
If somebody's listening to this on like a new Clanker cycle that we're in, like a Clank season, summer of Clank, the Clanker Summer here, and they're like, all right, it's time, because you still haven't launched your own Clanker, right? I definitely didn't miss one, right? There's not you've not clanked yet. Your Clank card is still intact, right? Your C card?
No, I've lost my C card a while ago.
What did you play?
Dude, it was a bunch of, so when we launched the mini app, right? Like I had to test the Clanks from like the mini app, and that linked to like my FID, my address. So, I've deployed like 40 Clankers. It's crazy. And I did a casual Clank too.
They're all tests,
I did do a casual Clank to kind of drop that. You know what it is? Like, I think it was just, like it was good. It was a cool feature. This was kind of like a splitting the 50-50 with the OP of like the reply. But yeah, dude, lost my C card.
So bro, you went from being a surgeon or a Kurgeon. I can't think of a clever way of saying that. A C version, virgin, to being like, what's your body count? Like we're like doing a Miami Street interview, and you're like, yeah, it's actually 48. And your boyfriend's like, what the fuck?
Man,
that's okay. That's okay. How did I not get into any of those though? I would have. I don't know how I missed all of that.
That's right. You don't want them. They're just the first like 40 were like tests.
The The one that really matters hasn't hit, I guess, yet, right?
Yes.
You're going to hit that one day.
My meaningful clank is definitely, I got to find the right one.
You got to find that right one, dude.
Yeah.
Right
to go official. But yeah, no, it's, just trying to test the waters, see how it works. But yeah, I was going to say, I think that one of my favorite clanks to date
Dude, cool mustache, very basic. I'm straight up Mormon with this stuff, dude. I locked onto one clanker. I have not launched another one. Now, do I get tempted? Every once in a while, I'm like, I got a good idea. Or I got something great. I got something I really want to do. But nope, I'm faithful. If nothing, I am loyal.
You don't give in to temptation.
I want to so bad, dude. There's so many crazy times.
It's like, it's kind of like the, you kind of I went to like a Catholic high school growing up, and they were like, oh, not the celibacy thing, but it's like, you got to save yourself for the right one, and then. And that's kind of how society was, or like at least like the Farcaster ecosystem and deploying a token was. It's like, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it right. But then like content coins came, and then that was kind of like, I don't know. I didn't live to the 70s, but it felt like the 70s or the 90s. Let me say the 90s, right? Where it's like everyone's just going to be like, testing things out, trying it and experimenting.
Free love movement.
The free content, free Clank movement, and that was something that I think kind of opened people up. I think people are still trying to grasp it and like not pass judgment to these like multiple clanks, but I think it's just
I think you're right, and I don't pass judgment on people who have multiple. There's a point. I think you can easily tell. Like, I really think, okay, I just put out a video on Clank Fun. I love Clank Fun. I think Clank Fun's been awesome since day one, and they keep doing cool things. He keeps updating things. Nick's the man. But I like to go on people's profiles and just see each one that they've launched, and you can tell the difference of somebody who's like, kind of like, okay, this is like a fun thing. Then I maybe have like one that I take a lot more serious, but like I was testing like you can tell the difference between that. And then like you go to one that's got like a crazy amount of stuff, and none of them it's just like, and it's like constant. That's when you're like, all right, okay, well, they were meant for the streets. Is what it is.
Exactly. The low hanging clankers. Moon, you were kind of dealing with this today, right? You were testing the mini app, and
oh yeah. So that's an update, right? I was telling you earlier, Jack, that I've been doing more technical things lately. I was managing our Dune dashboards and stuff like that, but recently we used my mini app that works off the Clanker SDK to launch Noise, or at least the Noise guys used that to launch.
Yep.
And I was very scared because I built it. And then since then I noticed two things. One, I was testing it the day of, like a little bit before they launched it. I was just launching like name test, and a couple people DM'd me and they're like, "Did you launch this?" Like, and like my thing is, I guess I just have to be more careful testing from main now, because I guess people are watching. The cool thing about it though is that you have apps like people are relying on apps like interface and stuff like that, very much so. So that part of the social feed flywheel is working right. So I got hit up another one today because I had pushed a couple changes to the mini app overnight. Fun things, and I launched 2 today. Unfortunately, they did not contain the words "test" in them, so people were very confused. One of them was the one that got tagged a lot was Whoop Whoop.
Yep. Buying that one now. Okay.
Yeah, please don't buy this shit. Please.
What was your first Clank, like pre-launch?
Yes, this one came in. This was when you guys were testing it. This was in early November, and I clanked on-chain Coochie.
Nice.
And that barely missed the cutoff. It was almost the first Clanker. So I'll
I
take
probably
that.
did. I probably had to clear that from the database.
Yeah, but breaking things. So we like that.
It's pretty funny.
But yes,
Iconic.
a lot of terrible clankers out there. I think that and I don't know if you guys had mentioned this already, but I think that kind of moves us on to like things that we're doing and not doing, like seeing stuff in the wild, and like curation is definitely a hot button issue like in this space. I think even Believe app, they're talking about it now, that they're kind of seeing like this pro con thing of like hand holding with the launch or whatever. So they're kind of trying to like they're kind of stepping back just a little bit. Launching tokens is fucking hard, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people, you got to it's hard to gauge exactly how hard a team is going to go and like things like that or whatever. So what we're thinking of doing, or rather what we are doing, is we're going to try to create our own sort of curated list of clankers that we think are doing cool. Some of them maybe just by trading metrics and stuff like that, but a good set of what we're calling champagne clankers, to show off to people, people that we think are doing cool stuff, memes that are just going absolutely bananas on the charts, whatever, anything really can make it there. But yeah, again, curating a sort of list to kind of like, hey, check this out. This is something that someone's building on Clanker or something like that. We like that. We kind of like put a bit of a stamp of approval on it. And we want to help those guys out, win together.
Yeah, I was just say like, yeah, like try and showcase these, unique parts or these unique clanks, and it's like, hey, look at these guys. They're trying something out that's unique. Let's give them a place in the Champagne Clankers list here.
So
But yeah, it's gonna be like, I know I'm gonna miss some, and that's the thing. Like we have to, as a collective, don't know what that looks like long term, but like for V0, literally just be like, hey, like you got a cool clank here. Can I add it? Something like that. But yeah, kind of just doing, some incremental stuff. Cause like, even like the market cap can be kind of like smaller projects too. I want to give them the attention as well. So it can't be like, fully just on chain. I don't know. It's like, it's going to be like, kind of like what we want to do. And I think that from the start, not even from the start, but like, maybe like a week after, I was like, we want to be like the HBO of like, on-chain projects. And if we can do, like, I feel like we're already starting to get there. We've got the True Detectives and things like that, like the OG, like we got Sopranos, but like we want to have like some new, always like, box office type stuff. And yeah, I think it's just like it's the compatibility between the tokens too. But we want to vote on it, like the IERC 20 votes. You can go super chain, cross chain compatible.
you want those box offices. You want the Game of Thrones. You want the big boys. But I think it's still important to highlight those Neistat brothers that had a couple seasons on HBO. We still need those cool artists with these low mid caps that could be something huge if they just get the eyes on them. I think that's
Yep.
important. And I think the alpha then right now, guys, is Champagne Clank is like basically going to be the Clanker Summer Spotify playlist. That's where all the tunes, that's where the jams are coming. And that's a pretty cool idea. I really like that. I didn't realize that's the direction, and I love that. I really do. I think
Jack,
that,
I might have to steal the Clanker Summer Spotify playlist idea from you,
hey,
man.
it's not stealing when I'm part of the team, baby. What you know?
Hello,
Hey, this
what's
is
up,
called
dude?
Brainstorm Sesh. We're putting this out there. They'll know. They know what's up.
Clanker,
They know where
Clanker
the
Summer
source is.
playlist.
Yeah.
Coming
There
to
actually
you.
there should be like a legit like DJ thing, or like I'm trying
You got
to,
a
yeah,
good DJ right there.
that's right,
We take
that's right.
those. We take those. Yeah, that was. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback on DJing on the stream.
Yeah.
I used Stream TV. I think they're calling, what are they? They're rebranding, I want to say, soon.
Oh, they are. They're a
to
Clanker.
What are they rebranding to? Retake.tv, I believe they're going to
Retake.
be
All right.
rebranding to.
I kind of like that more, to
But
be honest.
yeah, I use them to live stream stuff on Farcaster somewhat regularly. DJ sets. The cool thing was this week, feeling inspired, I put the QR from Jake's QR coin on my stream. And Srijan from Noise, he's been going absolutely bananas and bidding insane amounts to win the auction every day for I think the past week now almost.
Yep.
So I just figured that would be a nice thing to do after the Noise launch. Sorry, it would be a Noise thing to do.
Noise.
And yeah, so that's also been pretty fun. Creative
We should
outlets are
we
bangers.
should talk about those two because I feel like that's like
Yep.
the talk of the week right now. It's
Yep.
like the Noise team, they were bidding before launch, during, and I think they're securing it after. It's like a crazy high bid right now. Maybe like close to like $2,000 maybe. But
Yeah,
like
I
I
think
feel
that's
like
nice.
crazy. And like both charts are just rocketing right now. Like the literally painting like the beautiful like perfect 3 bars is like something that's just like a chef's kiss right there. And I think it really just goes to like the execution of Jake especially, right? Like you look, this QR is not, I think it might be a V2 or V3, not sure. Not it. I don't. It's at least existed for like 100 days. But you look at this chart, and it's like a gradual attention like snowball. And you know what I love best about this product? You can go and view if you go and view the source of it or like the winner. I think you can collect like 2,000 or 3,000 QR just for hitting like seeing the source, and that to me
Yeah,
is sick.
Yeah.
yeah. I think Jake is super duper smart. He did base colors before this, and he started QR coin. I think the QR thing didn't even happen until like the changing QR. I want to say didn't even happen until like a day or two after he'd launched. Like he was like, "Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense."
Yeah.
And now, like you have like random VC people, like when they do their like theses on random state of the market, whatever. And like they're like, oh yeah, I kind of want to see like I think like on chain ads or like an untapped market. And I was like, yo, check out QR Coin. That man is literally uh, got an on chain billboard that people seem to be really really into. So that's I guess that leads me to like two things, right? Like one, I'm so proud of Jake. One, just because like I don't even think he's had a formal meeting with this.
Yeah.
Maybe he's had like one or two or whatever, maybe like asking a couple questions and things like that. But literally, he's just like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? All right, cool. And like
Let's go.
since then, he's like literally just doing his own part. And I think he's really realizing that it's like the attention for better or for worse is on the person who clanks to kind of deliver on like whatever they're talking about or anything like that. I think thankfully that's the coolest thing too. I think it's like simple ideas, right? Like I don't think he's got to change now the QR logic forever, and all he's doing is just making the experience more fun. He can like he's not stuck in the weeds. He can like look from like kind of like an eagle eye perspective and be like, all right, this is where I'm going. I need this. I need that. I'm going to make my mini app as good as possible. It's going to send you a notification. It's going to pay you to look at it on a regular basis. That's what Jack was saying about like collecting QR for even just
That was a good unlock.
interacting. Like talk about, I mean, like I everyone's saying the word flywheel, but damn, if that's not the perfect example of what that means. Like look it up in the dictionary. It's Jake from QR Coin. Like
It is going parabolic right now. That is
and then you have this thing where it's like the coolest thing I think for us is like, okay, so Clanker Project A is helping Clanker Project B, and like they have their own synergies and stuff like that. So to me, that's just like the coolest. That's just so cool.
It is so sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, please.
Oh, well, I was just, seconding. I really didn't have much. I was just saying it is really, really cool how these projects are, intermingling. They're like helping each other out. Things are growing together in unison. And I think that from the get go, and I don't even know if this was by design, but has been why Clanker fucking rules and why I've always liked it. It's like this weird way that these projects you're able to help each other out. Like it's a grow together strategy. I don't want to say the ship thing again, but you know what I mean? Like it really is happening. Like that's what people are using. And these two feel perfect. Like Nice and QR just really like are rocking together. It's working.
And then also with Noise, you can also like,
Noise.
I'm tipping Clanker to people, like
Yeah.
just in the feed. And now it's like, hey, it's like, oh, you reported a bug? Like, yeah, recast, here's some Clanker. Like that unlocks so much for projects. And I think especially Noise, I think they're going the kind of the creator route. I think that's like on their roadmap. And that's cool too. Where it's like it's like you got, I don't know if basically it's just like, hey, here's a token of my appreciation for just being a pal. So
That you mentioned this earlier, and I actually think there's another thing happening another Clanker right now that's kind of was trying to tackle the same issue. As like content creators, zero rights. We've been making content for a while, and we like to do this thing on pods, like the boost thing, and that way, like people have the ability to use those Clanker tokens that they have. Nobody wants to sell their Clanker token, right? Like the ones that they're earning, they don't want to sell them. That looks, that's just part of your earnings, and you believe in yourself, you believe in your project, you're holding them. But you need to find a way to utilize that to grow, right? To help grow. But if you're just like selling them all the time, then it feels weird. Toady actually came up with Better, which so now we have Noise, and now what do you guys think about Betterment? Because they're trying to do the same thing where it's like, hey, use those coins, sponsor a creator, you'll get your token out there, everybody will have fun playing this little mini, I don't know what to call it, gambling lot, I don't know, a game, and and it'll help the creator, it'll help your token get out. It'll be something that you can use, that those clankers that you're getting, a way to distribute those. What are your guys' thoughts on Betterment?
Toady killed it. I mean, I had no idea that he was cooking this hard. But yeah, what I really love is like, it's like kind of like Warp Slot, right? Where it's like, it's just like press a button and you could potentially win. It's not like a hold, I don't have to think about it. It's just like, go in, go and find new content and get rewarded from it. And I think that's pretty sweet. And the way that like Toady's always been a pioneer, and the way that he's been able to capture not only from like the media side attention, but from like the product mini app innovation is really something that like just shows how like just flexible he is in terms of like have an idea, executing, and really just like testing things out. And I think it's hitting.
Oh, for sure. I think the mini app is super duper slick. I wasn't even aware that he was like kind of like talking to the Merkle team about like doing a better airdrop until recently. When he'd asked me like for some help on Dune and stuff like that, asked me if I had a couple different types of queries hanging around. And so I was able to help him with that. But I think the app is really slick. I think that what I like about it is, and honestly, this might not even be that different across like mini apps in general, but like literally the secret sauce is, hey, make a mini app and then give people a way to earn a thing. It might not even be that valuable or anything like that, but it turns out that if I give you tokens, you might come click. It's like a little breadcrumb trail. And what I like about it too is that it's not just the app that's on there. I see, he's talking about Clank Fun. if I'm not mistaken, the last time I opened the app or whatever. And like he's kind of showcasing like other things. So like maybe it's like a type of digital ad space, like maybe a little bit different than the
Yeah.
QR sort of version. But I see it like also like very similarly. And like, yeah, again, he gets that. Like I'm sure a bunch of people were opening up their Betterment app yesterday to see if they got an airdrop. Or complain that they didn't get an airdrop, or whatever. But the main thing is that the mini app, it is sticky. It looks nice. It's slick. Can't
Without,
really
without, no-
can't really say more.
I love the casino vibe to it too. And I think like what better in a lot of these apps that like have you go through a user journey to be rewarded, it's literally just like making this more transparent. Like before you would go through like a whether it's like a Google ad or some sort of click, and like the company would be getting the money from that conversion, but now you get the money from going through this process. And I think it's pretty sick. And it's like, yeah, sure, like the app or the product, right? They do a token launch. They have this attention around them. They're like, all right, what are they going to do? Are they pushing new features? Do I see the vision? And I think like as it kind of clicks with people, and you can see that with a lot of these charts, right? With like the product coins, it's like, oh, like I get it now, and I see the value of this token in like a less speculative way. But it's like, oh, I can actually use this on a daily basis, and I think that right there is like that's kind of the area that we're in right now, which is super exciting.
Yeah. It's great, dude. I don't know what other projects should we I feel like there's just been this crazy like unleashing of cool ass projects that are clanking. I mean, it really is. And I think if you haven't checked them out, they really are like this. Not even for being a Clanker show. These are just cool things happening.
Yeah, that's the best part. These are all a lot of these stuff is like stuff that I actually wouldn't have a problem talking about if it wasn't Clanker.
Yeah.
I like just seeing cool shit. Like I definitely know that back in the day, back in the day, frames, what mini apps were previous on Farcaster was a huge unlock and brought a lot of eyes and people to it. It was there that a lot of people clicked and they're like, okay, this isn't just Twitter. This is like Twitter and some. Like Twitter, and I never have to leave. I don't have to get bounced out to Safari and whatever. And so Frames definitely had that huge like kind of unlock period, unlock event. I mean, and more recently, we were at FarCon at the Monad offices, Gmonad. And there was a Seed Club event showcasing mini apps and two things. One, like 70% of the projects of like the 17, I think that went on had clankers. But not just that, we saw a bunch of people like making like really cool things. Like we saw Amps.fun had pushed out their mini app. They're not a clanker, but still cool. Tab by Tab by Carlos. That one was really cool. That's basically kind of like Venmo-esque about payments. It was really cool to see like Zinger and like a couple people. They went out to dinner in New York and they used Tab to split the bill. Obviously, like Tim from Bracky, I think they killed it during March Madness. They've done the Masters. It started with the Super Bowl last year. And somewhere along the line, they're like, you know what, let's tokenize. Let's get some Bracky out to people. They had a huge airdrop event that was like pretty successful. Yeah. A lot of people bet their airdrop and made a bunch of Bracky off that. So like there's users that are earning in that ecosystem pretty well that never even put money actually like up. They never risked anything except for their airdrop, which I think is just like something out of nothing. Like that's so cool.
Yeah. Are we fucking scientists over here? What's going on? How are we creating stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think as far as projects, I would say those two. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch, but those two are two that I've like actually been using and stuff like that lately.
I've got kind of a sleeper clanker that I want to talk about. It's kind of older.
All right.
It's called The Obedience Cipher, and it's by Tanish.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm terrible at Jeopardy or puzzles or things like that. That's just not what I do. Um, but I think that's a super slept on use case of it where it's like it's almost like a treasure hunt mixed with like a puzzle. You got to have like a giga brain to solve it. And he's been grinding on this. And it's finally like coming to fruition. I think there's probably like $600 in there. Um, but like that's something that's like, the slow cooks are sometimes really good cooks. And I'm excited to see who unlocks that.
Dude, this was another
Interesting.
one that I found like while making the Clank Fun video. I just found it in like through Clank Fun as it, I just noticed it. It was like, oh, this looks kind of cool. Had no idea. It's been out for a while, right? And he's just
Yeah.
been kind of building on it. It's pretty silently, but I think it's really cool. That is one. Definitely check that out. I think it's OCD-1 is the
Yep.
right.
Yeah, yeah. The Clanker lore is deep, runs deep, um, and that's kind of also why we don't necessarily want to tell people that we're just projects, we're just memes. It could be
Yeah.
something in between. I think that a puzzle. I think on-chain puzzles have always gone pretty hard in the crypto space. In 2021, there was a lot of NFT games that featured puzzles that had pretty amazing rewards, even in hindsight after things prices went down of things. Um, I think that yeah, puzzles are just cool. Like even if I don't solve it, like it's honestly just as cool to solve like or like to see how someone went about it and you're just like, oh my god, this guy is insane, how'd they do that. um I think earlier, I think somewhere around degen time, like maybe like mid 2024, maybe just after, I had solved a puzzle by Emily Jr. That he'd put out, and
Oh,
basically it was
really?
like it was a seed phrase that was scattered along among like I think like 12 posts or something like that, and yeah, I was just like a madman, just like typing multiple words. Like I had the BIP 39 list. I think it's that, like of all the words that could be seed phrases. Like I was checking them against like words that were in there. And the rush that I got when I hit the wallet, it had like a couple MFR, based MFR NFTs, a couple based paint NFTs, and I think just like a little bit of ETH in there to send everything out. But yeah, hitting that and like the rush that I had of like transferring it out, I'm like, oh my god, someone's gonna hit it, someone's gonna hit it. Like, it's just so fun. And that's an experience that you just can't like. I don't know. To be able to give that
It's
even to one person is just still, I think, is just cool. That if
Yeah.
anything, if not for price, if not for anything, to be able to deliver that experience to somebody is just, I think that's magical. That's like some Disney shit.
Yeah.
Um,
And even the
so
content afterwards, or not even the story. I mean, like you said, like even if you're not the one who solves it, there's something like really awesome just like hearing about like how did they do. Sometimes I'm just like, damn, there's some smart ass people in this world.
that one was really easy, to be
Well,
fair. Like compared to like
I
some of
still
these
think they're
harder
smart.
like puzzles and stuff like that. Um, I can't remember the exact name of the puzzle, but I remember someone had put something out. It was a puzzle that had like it had like a website, and like if you cracked that part, you had to call a phone number, and then it had like a voicemail on it, and like it repeated like a code, but it was all words. So like you had to like figure out which part of that,
Was that
and
part of the
then
was that part of the Bored Ape one?
I don't think so. I don't think it was a Board Ape one. I don't think it was a Board Ape one. It had a decent amount of ETH though. I think locked up. I remember somewhere along the lines you had to like download like a chemistry like visualizer, and you had to like look up the exact like chemical name that was like came out as part of the code, and then I got stuck on the part where it had like files talking about like Kobe from crypto Twitter and like little things. Maybe someone will come out and remember the name of this thing, or maybe I'll remember it halfway through here or whatever. But that was the fun puzzle. Like that one was like way over my head, and and yeah, finding out how someone figured out the rest of the parts after is just like, fuck, dude.
there's this artist I was thinking about a lot. He's called Sunday Nobody. He does this incredible content on YouTube and I don't know, probably TikTok. I don't watch it, but like all this stuff. And it's really awesome. I think that type of creator and artist could do something really, really interesting with the platform. If you haven't checked out Sunday Nobody, please do. He makes, I mean, just really incredible stuff. That's very clever and funny and catchy. But who's like if somebody like if like Deion Sanders went out there and like clanked, would you be like, whoa, this is awesome? Or like who is it? I mean, Nick Cage and Sunday Nobody for me probably. That's like my celebrity clankers. What are you guys thinking?
I mean, I have two answers. One is more realistic, the other one's less. I think that the more realistic one would be someone like Shloms, SHL0MS, famous Anon from Crypto Twitter and on Warpcast. He would be pretty cool. He's done some really cool projects in the past that I've collected, and he just knows how to draw a crowd. So I think that would be a really interesting one. Less realistic, Dua Lipa.
Ooh.
All right.
I like that.
I
I'd be
think
fine.
No elaborating.
Jack.
I would say, all right, I got two. Celebrity, I would say, I think Action Bronson, just saying like, fuck, that's delicious. Or like, just fuck,
Bro,
that's delicious.
On a boogie board.
Brassolino.
I feel like that would be like just you can clank your slogan, whatever. Second one I think would be like, this is like maybe for like the grandmas out there, just like a cookie like chocolate chip cookie recipe. I feel like that could rip.
Cool.
Just because like I'm not a great chef. I'm just writing code. Like I got to go line by line. So if I got like a chocolate chip cookie recipe that I really loved, I don't know, throw that in the description or something. Grandma's cookies or something.
Who's grandma's famous?
Yeah, I don't know.
We need a famous
I guess not a celebrity. All right,
Martha Stewart, Paula Deen, Betty Crocker.
Clanker.
If they clanked, okay.
Yeah.
Martha Stewart clank? That would be wild.
That would be insane.
Shit.
I think Caitlyn Jenner clanked. I don't know if it was real though, but that's like,
yeah, that was honestly sus. But
Yeah.
we respect the pump. We respect the pump regardless.
I have no idea. Caitlyn Jenner's been following me for like a year or something. And she follows like 20 people or something weird like that. I don't know why. I have no idea what happened. I remember, the whole thing. When she came back, because she had already like been in the base ecosystem for a little bit trying to sell medals. And then when she came back, it was a little weird. Something was kind of strange about it. But for some reason, I'm on her follow list.
Is that on Farcaster?
No, on X.
That's so crazy.
No clue why. Absolutely zero clue why. But
very based. Must be the cool must.
Very based. Lately, there's been this problem of people fucking skimming, as you might say, skimming projects.
Great call. So what's going on is that since V3.1 introduced permissionless, and that was the ability to add social deployment context on time of launch. And what people can do is they can add their whether it's the context, and the context would be Farcaster, and they can add an ID to that, which would be the FID of some user they're trying to impersonate.
Yeah.
And so they can launch this because it's open, permissionless, and some of these bots have been picking these up and basically displaying that this user deployed it. But the truth of source really, and we put safeguards into Clanker World itself, as well as on our API. So you should always cross-check with our backend or our app, because we run checks on the deployment address, or the basically the message sender. And these message senders are our known interface deployment addresses. So we cross-check that with those, as well as with the address if it deployed a token from an address that's associated with an FID. Basically, it's like, yeah, I can pretend to be you, but since my address isn't affiliated with my Farcaster account, you shouldn't trust it. So the precautions there, I would say, are hit our API, check with our eventually it'll be in our SDK, basically to check if the token is valid, and always just do a little bit of diligence. And I think our goal is to make it surface all of the relevant info for the safest trading experience. And apps like Interface do a great job of showcasing that. And yeah, we're kind of, yeah, that's where we're going.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all. It's like definitely not on you guys. Like a lot of this, it's just like I think people, as long as people know how they can. But you understand the frenzy. Like I see a bunch of
Totally.
people buying Clicker, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, cool. And people like I trust and know, and I'm like, oh yeah, they've bought it. So I'll buy a little right here, and then it turns out, it's not Clicker at all. They're just
Yeah.
messing.
Yeah, and just to like reiterate too, like it's one of those things that like, we live in this world where you have blockchain and everything's like recorded and stuff like that, and you still have a lot of people that are trusting, and
Yeah.
that's cool to an extent, right? And there's certain things that like we can trust more than others. Um, we think that that was kind of like the magic of Clanker, especially early on, that you can say, hey, Jack Wyldes' account, they clanked like that. That is, for the most part, we can say
Right.
that is him. But past that, like especially now since we've gone permissionless, the thing that you can't fake is the message sender. So that's kind of again like just like reiterating that attack vector. I think it happened yesterday with Phil,
Mhm.
because he said he was gonna clank, and he's kind of, you know um, those things take time or whatever. But in the meantime, someone was like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a dev buy on it. I'm gonna set all the recipient addresses to Phil, and then I'm gonna even send him a little extra coin, so it
So it
looks
looks.
a lot of ways it looks like in a lot of ways it looks like it's him. But if you go on the warplet, or if you just like clicked on like the actual contract address or whatever that was coming up in the feed, it wouldn't have any connection or anything like that
Yeah.
to Phil. And that's kind of where we noticed that again, like there's a bot on Farcaster that kind of posts, and actually it's done this before, because it said that Vitalik clanked, which wasn't the
Yeah.
case. It was actually very similar. It was a very similar setup. He was basically the reward recipient to all their stuff. So don't trust, verify. I think interface has actually been a pretty decent source of truth. But again, every front end is potentially able to make a mistake or whatever. Some of these
Mhm.
guys are thinking about this more than others and stuff like that, but you can always check the chain and make sure.
That's right.
Maybe that's the difference of a couple of candles, but a couple of candles is better than buying a scam, in my opinion.
For
So we're definitely working on trying to get that feed out, like get that out into the feed like a little bit quicker. That's definitely something we were kind of learning from the Noise launch, that a lot of people felt like they didn't know exactly where to look for
Yeah.
that. So that's kind of like what we're thinking like of in context of like updates to the bot and like stuff like that or whatever. We want to make sure that like you can kind of verify
That's a sick
these
idea. Being able
clankers.
to
Yeah.
ask, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it's almost like getting a blue check mark on your Clank after, and if you can just ask the bot, like, "Hey, is this the right one?" There you go. This is also a good reason for Champagne Clankers, because you've got a verified list of clankers that you can follow. And for new people out there who are getting into Clanker for the first time, there's going to be a lot of new people getting on to Farcaster and like entering this ecosystem. Maybe there's some content I can help put out that would help uh new users or new buyers like make sure that they're being safe, because it's hard, dude. it's sometimes it's hard, and a lot of it's going to happen. Things happen. You make mistakes. Just try as hard as you can not to. I guess
Exactly.
I don't know. That's not great advice.
No, it's
Jack.
true.
You did real good there. Don't fuck up, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we can kind of wrap up with a couple closing statements. Like, guys, I'm not exactly sure how often the show's going to be coming out. Hopefully, before it was basically pretty much a weekly show. Maybe we'll move to a bi-weekly schedule. Maybe we'll wait a little bit more. Maybe I still throw in a couple of episodes, like interviewing different other people, if you guys can't make it in certain times or whatever, but we are going to have regular Clanker content coming out for everyone. And make sure that we're highlighting the coolest projects. We're hitting that Clanker playlist, that summer playlist, the Champagne Clankers. And I don't know, guys. Give me some good ending statements here. What's some good fun stuff?
Oh man, there's so much. I think there's like a list of champagnes that I wanted to touch on, like Acid Test, Gaddafi making a comeback here.
Gaddafi is making a comeback. Yeah, shout out Jan.
The small ones. I think we didn't even talk about Clank Minecraft. I think that's a big interface there. Like that's some innovative shit. The whole artist coins too. Like that's a whole other. We could have a whole episode on that. Into I think is a big one. Or it's like a smaller. That's a smaller cook, but I think it's like the app is polished, and I think that DB is gonna really push it out here.
Yeah. Also, native too. Derek has been shipping lately. He's been coming up on my feed. He's testing a lot of things. I know I want to say his passport's finally minted out the other day. And yeah, so that's going to be very interesting to see. He's been a little quiet lately, and just posting like tests passing and things like that. So I think that's going to be fun. In general, though, obviously we have V4 coming out. That's going to be neat. We have some planned improvements for Clanker itself, the bot. Hopefully we can upgrade some functionality with that. Clanker SDK is going to be coming out. We should be putting out the V4 contract somewhere that people can kind of look at so they can start playing around with it before we launch. We have a soft date right now for the launch, most everything getting audited. I think we're shooting for like the week of the 14th of June. So that should be out then. We have plenty more of these episodes coming out. We got a bunch of content for you. And yeah, we want to win together.
That's right.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you, I'm really appreciative for you guys, and I'm appreciative for everybody out there listening and hanging out with us. And I hope that you're ready for Clanker Summer, because it's going to be a fucking ball.
Ride the wave. Thanks for having us, Jack.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Dude, again, we got to get this. I'm not having you. We're having us. It's a thing.
True.
It's a thing.
Yeah, we're not even guessing. We're
grateful
we're here
for
to stay.
us.
Grateful for you, for editing, for doing the StreamYard stuff. I don't know how this works. It looks like a high-quality dashboard here.
I don't need to figure this out. You're going to handle it. That's good. No, that's important. All right, until next time, fellas.
Doctor.